Too many Ptooweys in Bunnyland. Chapter 1. In the vibrant and peaceful realm of Bunnyland, the winters are usually serene, with a gentle blanket of snow adorning the mountains. However, this past winter has been particularly harsh, leaving the mountains heaped with heavy snow. Muffin the Great, cutest white bunny ruler of all of Bunnyland, and all her bunions had been very busy that winter making the white stuff, which is actually frozen drops of bunny.
Ptooweeys!
As spring arrived, bringing warmer weather, the snow began to melt rapidly, turning the usual gentle flow of the river into a ferocious torrent. The river, swollen with melting
Ptooweeys!
snow, threatened to flood a huge part of the forest area, home to many woodland creatures. Nom Nom, a resourceful and determined beaver known for his engineering prowess, quickly recognized the impending disaster. After all, he and his buck-toothed cousins had helped in saving Bunnyland from a past forest fire, which left an entire forest burned and subsequently renamed that to the Badlands. This same forest, nestled in a low-lying area, was at significant risk of flooding. If the river wasn't managed, it would wash away the homes and livelihoods of countless creatures. Nom Nom knew that immediate action was necessary to divert the raging river and save the Badlands. Summoning his fellow beavers, Nom Nom devised a daring plan to divert the river's flow to a nearby lake with low water levels. The challenge was immense, particularly because the task had to be completed during a relentless downpour of
Ptooweeys!
Apparently, the bunions hadn't gotten the memo that
Ptooweeys!
needed to cease and desist immediately. You see, Muffin the Great was on holidays, and Bob the Cat was performing his security job as Muffin's heavy and bunny guard. No one could get a hold of them. This fresh downpour made the river even more unpredictable. Nom Nom's determination and leadership inspired his team, and they set out on an urgent mission with a sense of purpose and unity. Before leaving, Nom Nom asked the hummingbees and guppies to fly and swim out all over Bunnyland and try and get the message to Muffin to get the bunions to stop.
Ptooweeys!
Chapter 2. As the
Ptooweeys
fell in torrents, Nom Nom and his team of beavers gathered at the edge of the raging river. The
Ptooweeys
roared and churned, threatening to spill over its banks and rush toward the vulnerable forests. Nom Nom quickly outlined the plan to his cousins. They would construct a series of dams and channels to redirect
Ptooweeys
flow from the river to the near empty lake. This required engineering and unyielding teamwork. Under Nom Nom's direction, the beavers began to fell trees and gather branches, their sharp teeth and strong jaws making quick work of the task. Despite the heavy
Ptooweeys
fall and the dangerous conditions, the beavers worked tirelessly, driven by the urgency of their mission. They constructed a series of sturdy dams along the riverbank, carefully positioning them to divert the flow toward the lake. Nom Nom's keen eye for detail and his cousin's deep understanding of water and the
Ptooweeys
dynamics were crucial. The beavers adjusted the positions of the dams and channels to ensure that the
Ptooweeys
would be effectively redirected. The beavers' teamwork was remarkable, each one contributing their skills and strengths to the collective effort. The
Ptooweeys
continued to fall from the sky, but the beavers' determination never wavered. Chapter 3. As the first dams were completed, the beavers could see the river's flow beginning to change. The
Ptooweeys
which had been threatening to spill into the forest, started to follow the newly created channels, veering toward the lake. Encouraged by this success, Nom Nom and his team worked even harder, their fur slick with
Ptooweeys
and mud, but their spirits high. Natty, a strange weirdo from Kanakanak, who didn't know yet, but who would one day live in these beautiful forest areas, watched with a mixture of hope and anxiety while deep in a dream. You see, she had not yet moved to Bunnyland and only dreamed of it here and there. She had seen the rising
Ptooweys.
inch closer to her home and fear for the safety of Muffin's carrot seeds. When she heard of Nom Nom's plan, she felt a spark of hope. If Nom Nom can divert the river, Muffin won't make me leave. And as
Ptooweys.
continued to fall, she prayed in her dream that the beavers' efforts would be enough to save their homes. Nom Nom and his team faced several challenges along the way. The ground was slippery, and the
Ptooweys.
made it difficult to see, and at times the force of the river seemed too strong to control. So thank goodness the little guppies were all out of harm's way. Nom Nom's leadership and the beavers' unrelenting efforts pushed his team's effort forward. With each dam they built, the river's path was further redirected, easing the pressure on the Badlands. Chapter 4. Hours passed, but the bunions and all their dang
Ptooweys.
showed no signs of letting up. The beavers, drenched and exhausted, continued to work with unwavering resolve. The lake, initially low and placid, began to swell with the redirected
Ptooweys.
Nom Nom knew they were close to achieving their goal, but the final dams and channels needed to be completed to ensure the safety of the Bunnyland's residents. In a final push, Nom Nom led his team to construct the last and most crucial dam. The river's fury was at its peak, but the beavers worked in perfect harmony, each one playing their part in the grand design. And as the dam was put in place, the river's flow shifted dramatically, sending a torrent of
Ptooweys.
rushing towards the lake. The beavers watched in awe and relief as the lake absorbed the
Ptooweys.
perfectly, its levels rising but staying within its natural boundaries. With the river successfully diverted, the beavers took a moment to catch their breath and survey their work. The
Ptooweys.
seemed to relent at this point, removing all immediate danger to the Badlands. From the sky, the beavers could see a herd of hummingbees flying towards them, then buzzing with the good news that they'd finally gotten a hold of Muffin the Great. Turns out Muffin and Bob had gotten stuck at the
Ptooweys.
crossing, and the
Ptooweys.
took forever while Bob did his job.
Ptooweys.
Horn sound of
Meow. Meow.
Muffin was able to text the bunions and ask them to stop the
Ptooweeing.
just in time. Nom Nom, though exhausted, felt a deep sense of pride and gratitude for everyone's efforts. Hard work and determination had saved the day. Chapter 5. Word of Nom Nom's heroic efforts spread quickly through Bunnyland. Natty and the other residents of the Badlands expressed their profound gratitude to Nom Nom and his team of beavers. The woodland creatures gathered to celebrate their salvation, sharing stories of the bravery and teamwork that had spared them from disaster. The guppies
Glove, glove.
and the hummingbees,
Buzz, buzz.
their interesting celebratory music. Muffin carried on as usual, since she truly thought her carrot garden needed more,
Ptooweys.
and she never intended to cause such trouble. Bob went back to doing whatever it is that Bob does.
Bob got ya.
Nom Nom stood humbly before the gathered animals, his heart full of pride for what they had accomplished together. He reminded everyone that it was their unity and collective effort that had made the impossible possible. The Badlands were safe, and the community was stronger than ever, bonded by their shared experience and the knowledge that they could overcome any challenge together. As the Bunyan
A final Ptooweys.
finally came to an end, the sun broke through the clouds. Bunnyland was filled with a renewed sense of hope and camaraderie. The lake, now brimming with crystal clear bunyan,
Ptooweys.
served as a reminder of the power of nature and the resilience of those who call it home. Nom Nom, with his team of beavers and the grateful residents of the Badlands, looked forward to a future where they would continue to work together to protect and cherish their beautiful land.
Nay, you know what? I got a problem, Nay. We didn't even talk about me much in here, and then all I had to say was Ptooweey part, Nay. That's not right, Nay. I should say more than just Ptooweey, Nay. You know what? That's Nay. Bob got jobs, Nay. Bob got a lot of jobs, Nay.
Thank you for listening to Memoirs of Muffin the Great. And if you enjoyed listening to this story, please make sure to share, like, and subscribe.